Hey guys, I thought that I would redo this Fiddle Fig video and add to it because I only went over one topic and I feel like a lot of people have lots of questions. If you don't and your fiddle is thriving, this is not for you, so scroll on. But if you do have questions, I can tell you what I do. This is just my experience. There's tons of other ways to do and grow and thrive your fiddly fig, but anyway, this stuff works for me. So the first thing I was gonna point out is these red spots. Okay, that's caused by edema. When your fiddly fig drinks the water too quickly, it can cause the cells to burst in the leaf and it causes these spots. Okay, it's nothing to worry about. They can go away. Most likely they will. See, they went away on this one. He looked like this. Also, if your pot is too large, which mine was on this particular fiddle, I just repotted him today in a smaller pot. He was in an 18-inch pot and this one is a 14. So he was sitting in way too much water, even though the soil allowed for it and he didn't get any root rot or anything like that. It was a lot of water for him to be sitting in. Also, that's from the sun. It's burn. He's my test fiddle, like I said in my other video. I tested him in direct sunlight. This happened. I don't care because I'm not worried about it, because eventually he's going to grow really tall and I'm going to chop all these bottom leaves off, which is another thing. Once you chop leaves off from the bottom or from the fiddle at all, they're never going to grow back. So once he gets tall, if you want him to be in the tree form instead of the bush form, you can take all of the bottom leaves off, and then as he gets bigger and bigger and bigger, you can chop the top off and he'll start to branch out. But anyway, we're not to that yet. So, about the pots that you use. Terracotta, terracotta, terracotta. Or concrete, but I like terracotta. It's very porous. It allows the root system to breathe. It doesn't hold the water in. Fiddles do not like to be sitting in water. They like to be very dry. I use a soil mixture of cactus soil mixed with perlite. So half cactus soil, half perlite. Mix it in really good together. And that's what I have mine in. You can also add some orchid bark in there for extra drainage. That's a really good thing to do. You can either do one or two things when you want to know if you should water your fiddly fig. You can either stick your finger in all the way down, and if it comes out super dry, you can water it. Or you can go to Lowe's and buy a moisture meter. And what I do with my moisture meter is I measure in two spots. So I'll measure up near the root ball in one spot and see what that reading tells me, okay? Because that's where the roots are, obviously. And then if it says it's super dry, then I come on out to the edge of the pot and I measure there too, because you can still have water in this soil that those roots can pull up, okay? So if this says it's at a 10, this says it's at a 3, I wouldn't water it yet, okay? I water mine between a 2 and a 3. All right, so this guy, not doing so well. I bought both my fiddle figs at the same time in December. He is putting out new leaves, but he's not growing any taller. And that's my fault because I've tested him in so many different conditions and he's been unable to thrive in one spot. So anyway, let's pan over my husband's home to my other fiddle. Okay, he is doing much better in his pot that's 14 inches. My husband's laughing at me. There's Amelia's toy again. So whenever I got these home from the nursery, I ordered them actually off Home Depot. Once I received them in the mail, I left them in the nursery pot for about 2 weeks. Always do that, because you don't want to start repotting while they're in a new environment, especially a fiddle fig, any plant for that matter, but especially a fiddle, because they're going to drop leaves regardless if they're placed in a new environment, and you don't want to stress them even more by repotting them, okay? So, but anyway, after 1 to 2 weeks of being in the nursery pot, or once you see roots growing out of the bottom of the pot, replant them. Terracotta, I only went up 2 inches, and he really likes it. I just watered him, but it's super tight in there. They like to be a little root bound. And like I said, once you start to see roots growing out of the drainage hole, repot him, and only 2 inches bigger at a time. So this one also gets red spots on the leaves, but they go away. See, they're not on the anterior side of the leaf, just the posterior side. Like I said, not a big deal. He receives eastern light, so morning light. He probably gets maybe 3 hours of direct sun rays a day, and then he's under this covered patio for the rest of the day. So he's receiving bright north, there's the toy again, bright indirect light from the north. Okay, and this guy, don't get me started on this guy. I'm so mad at my husband for jacking him up. We'll talk about that later. So anyway, what else? I went over pot size, I went over soil mixture, fertilizer. Do not fertilize them. I just fertilized this guy for the first time since I bought him in December. Wait and let them soak up all the fertilizer that's already in your potting soil. And in the perlite, there's also, if you get the Miracle Grow perlite, there's already fertilizer in that. So give them a chance to soak all that up before you hit them with fertilizer, okay? And the fiddles, I have a 312, I believe it is, fertilizer I got off Amazon, and it tells you instructions on how to dilute it and everything like that. But you can fertilize those during the growing season, so spring and summer months only. In the winter, he stays in a south-facing window, right up on the window, and it's dappled sunlight by blinds. I leave the blinds open all the time. And he also gets western light, so southwestern sunlight. Oh, people always wonder about this too. They think this is like mold. It's not. It's called patina, and it's actually from the minerals in your water. So they set up on here. If you want a distressed look, you can leave it. If not, you can scrub it off. Either way, it's not going to hurt your plant. I like the way it looks, so I leave it. It's on all these guys. I think that's all. Oh, another thing you can do during the winter and summer months, indoors or outdoors, is wiping the leaves down. I don't shine these leaves, and you see how shiny they are. I never use anything to shine them. When I water them, I just take a damp cloth or paper towel, and I just wipe the leaves off. And so you really want to do that with all your plants that you can, because the dust creates a barrier and they can't photosynthesize if that dust is on there, so they're less likely to do as well. What else? I think that's all. I think that's all my stuff. Okay, now I'm just mumbling to myself, trying to think. Oh, hold on. I have these sticks in here because since I bought him in December, he was not acclimated to outside in the wind, so he's real flimsy, okay? And I didn't want him to snap in half. But it is good during the winter, just to every now and then when you're watering your fiddle or you walk by, to grab the stem and just kind of shake him a little bit, and they think that's the wind, and it actually causes their roots to grow stronger, which is better for the plant. So anyway, that's all I have. If I think of anything else, I'll add it, or if you have any questions, specific questions, you can ask me. Like I said, this is just what works for me. It's not the end all be all, so something else might be working better for you. If it is, just keep doing that. Bye.